while it's not necessary that you use the terms challenges and obstacles, understanding deeply, by which I mean, because it's not such a deep concept in some respects, having a clear understanding of what a challenge is and what an obstacle is will be very helpful, because while you don't need to approach your paper in this way, most everyone will be giving examples of situations in which one may or may not be responding as effectively, or you, if you structure your paper in that way, may or may not respond as effectively as you can, and the way the practice of mindfulness and the benefits that flow from the practice of mindfulness can directly be responsive to what could be useful in those situations. So when I read the paper, inevitably I will say, oh, okay, there's a challenging situation that you're raising in the scheme of the subject that you're addressing, and here are some of the obstacles that are emerging, and here you have explained how it is that the practice of mindfulness helps to address those obstacles, which in turn can allow for a more effective, comfortable way of relating to the challenging situation. If this is not clear to you, what I just said about challenges and obstacles, and we've talked about it in most every class, and in 2 or 3 classes we've made it central to our discussion, I strongly encourage you, before you get too far in your paper, to schedule a time for us to talk. If nothing else, even if you have a pretty good idea of challenges and obstacles, as I imagine many of you do, to see if the situations that you're extracting from the many that you could draw upon are well suited for your paper in terms of the ease with which you'll be able to address it. We don't want it to be more complicated than it needs to be, because writing about it and explaining this can be complicated. That is to say, for one who is not familiar with the practice of mindfulness, and you might have a sense of this yourself since you're only 10 weeks in, there's some subtleties and there's layers to what it is that we're learning and exploring and coming to realize, and communicating that in words is not always the easiest thing to do. Even understanding it ourselves takes time, and really is something that emerges through ongoing practice, and then seeing how it translates into a real shift in important ways as we go through our day. So you don't need to mention the word challenges or obstacles, but what they are will certainly be communicated in your paper as situations, and then you're helping the reader understand what's going on in a given situation in the form of obstacles, and how mindfulness practices can be helpful to them.